So I feel like we're making memories each and every single week. But I'd probably say, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Uprising 2013, post-main events. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Bret the Hitman Hart stood side by side, because in 2013, I think you could definitely make the argument that Tanahashi was the best wrestler in the world, and he was stood side by side next to someone who I believe to be, quite frankly, what he said he was. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And to see those two side by side, it was a real statement of what I wanted Revolution Pro Wrestling to be all about. The best right now that respects the past, that remembers the past, that remembers the history and those that came before us. And that's an ethos that we can try to continue throughout the years. And it's a very personification of pro wrestling at its best. For RevPro to be run in Wembley, it means absolutely everything, because, there's not a bigger believer in Revolution Pro Wrestling. There's not a bigger believer in British professional wrestling, in independent professional wrestling than myself. And I can shout it from the rooftops as much as I want, but actions speak a lot louder than words. We've always tried to move forward. We've always tried to be better than ourselves yesterday. And this is a huge, huge step forward. It's a huge statement of intent, and it's a huge next chapter. And I think it's a real opportunity to show the entire world that British professional wrestling is no joke, that British professional wrestling is just as good as any form of entertainment. I'm not just talking about pro wrestling, because I believe, heart of hearts, pound for pound, Revolution Pro Wrestling is right up there with the very best wrestling in the world. And if you could see, all the tape that's holding this thing together, all the hard work, the DIY attitude, the spirit, the mentality, the passion, the drive of every single person that's been involved, past, present, and will be involved in the future, then I think you'd understand how much this means to everyone. And I feel a huge responsibility to carry out my promises. And I said that we would keep growing and we would keep moving. And I see this as a real opportunity to do just that. And this is it, August 29th. This is the moment to stand up and be counted. This is the moment that I want people to remember for a long time to come. And this is a moment that I want people to look back to and say, that was a definitive moment in the history of Revolution Pro Wrestling, which hopefully will be a lot bigger and better than any of us could even have imagined. We're doing this on our own. We're doing this independently. There's no sponsorship. There's no huge budget. There's just a passion. There's a love. There's a work ethic. There's a drive. There's a determination. And there's a belief. There's a belief from ourselves. And there's a belief from each and every single person who purchases a ticket. So again, in short, what running Wembley means is everything. And if you were to talk about me personally, because obviously we've spoken about what it means for me to be running it as Revolution Pro Wrestling, but what's it mean to me personally? I think you have to look back and say, what does it mean to that young boy that fell in love with professional wrestling at the age of 4? That young boy who's turned into a man and dedicated the majority of his life to this sport, to this art form, despite the fact that people said I couldn't, despite the fact that people said I shouldn't, despite the fact that people didn't believe in pro wrestling, that people thought that it was a joke, a hobby, however you want to term it. I've always believed in pro wrestling. I've always believed in what it can be. And I've always believed in the emotion, the moments, the feeling, the passion. And I think if you to look back at, like my first WWE wrestling show I went to see was at Wembley Arena. I couldn't believe that I was sat in the crowd at Wembley Arena watching a professional wrestling show, and now I'm going to be producing a show at Wembley Arena. We look back and we think about Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks and what a huge deal that was to be run in Wembley Arena. You look at WWF before Wembley Stadium, there was Wembley Arena, and you look at what a huge deal that was in, national press. I know it was a different time. I know it was a different world, but you look at the national press that WWF got this phenom for running Wembley Arena. And this is exactly what we're going to be doing. And it means so much to me personally, because it means that I never gave up on that young child inside me. I never gave up on my beliefs. I never gave up on my principles. And it means that, I've taken that young boy on a journey that he could never, ever have imagined in his wildest dreams. And to get there, I've had the highest of highs and I've had the lowest of lows. But it was worth every second of it, the moments like we're going to experience on August the 29th.
Revolution Pro Wrestling presents RevPro's 14th year anniversary. Saturday, 29th of August 2026 at OVO Arena Wembley.